So, hello everyone. It's really nice to see all of you here. And I think a short intro is in order. So, very short about me. I'm a data scientist at IBM. And what I do every day, I work on different natural language processing problems for different client projects. And usually I use either open source solutions or some products from different cloud providers. And today's agenda would be very short and simple. First, I'll talk about what is Watsonx. Then I'll highlight what are the key items why you might consider using Watsonx. And then I'll do a short demo presentation of one of its core components, Watsonx AI. So let's move on. And so last summer, in the middle of summer, IBM presented its new AI platform that's designed for business. And that platform consists of 3 core components: Watsonx AI, Watsonx Data, and Watsonx Governance. So Watsonx AI is a studio that's meant for building your AI applications. And this is the place where you experiment, train, validate, and deploy your AI models, whether they are traditional machine learning models or generative AI models. Then you have Watsonx Data. It's a data management solution, and the purpose of it is to connect all of your data sources, different data sources, into one point and make it accessible through a single point of entry. And finally, we have the third main component, Watsonx Governance, which is a tool for managing and monitoring your AI applications. And in today's presentation, I will mostly focus on Watsonx AI and Watsonx Governance. Now, few key items to mention about Watsonx. So, besides that, you can use your traditional machine learning models to build your AI applications. Watsonx, to be more precise, Watsonx AI offers you to build your AI systems using large language models, which are hosted on IBM's servers. And as you can see, here I listed a couple of these open source models, which are taken from Hugging Face. And each column represents a different large language model. And the colored boxes show what particular task these models are good at. For example, responding to natural language questions, extracting information, entities from text, summarizing text, classifying, or which models are suitable for retrieval, augmented generation pattern, and so on. And besides these models, IBM also hosts a couple of models which were trained by IBM data scientists. So these were trained on a carefully curated data set, and these series of models are called granite models. And what else is special about Watsonx? So all these 3 core components are built on Red Hat OpenShift. Now, what is OpenShift? It is more like advanced Kubernetes, but for enterprise. But to put it into more simple terms, imagine that OpenShift is like a moving truck. And you have like a bunch of stuff, your applications, and you can put those applications into boxes. Let's call them containers. And then you can load these boxes into that truck, which is called OpenShift. And then what you can do, you can drive that truck to any house that you want. In this case, house I would call different cloud providers. It could be AWS, Google Cloud Platform, or Azure, or even something on-premise. So, and no matter where you take all of that stuff, where you move all of that stuff, it will work the same way in either of these cloud providers. And that's how OpenShift helps IBM to make their products work even in different clouds. And in such a way, IBM doesn't tie to its own cloud to use their products. And as of now, one of the free core components of Watsonx is already available on-prem, and it only will be a matter of time before other components will become available as well. Now, another key item to mention about Watsonx, and this is something that I failed to find in other machine learning platforms from other cloud providers. It's the AI governance. So in this picture, we see a dangerous road, and if it wasn't for the guardrails, most likely we would end up in a situation where one or the other car would fall off the edge if the guardrails weren't present. So as these guardrails try to prevent those accidents from happening, the same way Watsonx governance act as guardrails, ensuring that AI systems are safe and ethical. And because nowadays AI is almost everywhere, and it affects what we see on the web, and also it can be used in medical field. For example, predicting whether a patient has cancer or no, and based on what the model tells, if it identifies or not, it can impact your health, like whether you get the treatment or not. So in other words, AI affects our lives either in a positive or a negative manner. And how Watsonx governance comes into play is that it provides proactive tooling for ensuring your model compliance and providing visibility whether your AI models are safe or not. And how does that look like? So one of the features is model documentation. And how does that look like? So let's say you're using the machine learning models that are available in Watsonx, then that model documentation happens automatically. What does it mean? While you experiment, train, and test your model, the AI Watsonx governance automatically logs various metrics about your model. And let's say if you have models that are outside of IBM Cloud, in some other cloud provider or on-premise system, then IBM provides the capability to use IBM AI Fact Sheets API to send those metrics to Watsonx governance. Now, what's good out of it, to sending those metrics into Watsonx governance? So the benefit of that you can use those metrics to display whether your model is compliant or not, whether it meets the certain thresholds or not, either by building your custom dashboards or using pre-built ones, as shown in these images. And well, enough of these boring slides, and let's get to the demo part. So now I'll showcase. Oh, nice. Let me quickly move the presentation here. Of course, it will be a bit difficult to. Okay, well, I'll have to manage somehow with this as it is. it will be difficult to do so. Let me quickly try changing the settings maybe so that it will point to the correct screen. Okay. I think I'll have to improvise it because wasting a bit of time here, but no worries. And so let's try this terminal like this. Okay, this is much better. So here I'll show you the Watsonx AI Studio and how it works. Once I found the mouse cursor, oh, here it is. Here I have opened Watsonx AI Studio and here you can find a bunch of different assets available which you can experiment with. So, for example, there is this auto AI feature where you could provide example inputs and outputs and by specifying what machine learning problem you're trying to solve, whether it is a regression problem or a classification one, then by setting all of that, the Auto AI feature, what it does, it just automatically detects which model is best suitable to solve that problem. It tries out the different models and with different hyperparameters. What else? Or you can do some experimentation, custom experimentation using Jupyter notebooks, and those notebooks would be run not locally but on cloud runtime, and you would be able to choose different cloud runtimes to use. It could be something that has CPU or GPU and so on. But what I wanted to show you is this experiment with foundation models. So this is basically a prompt studio where you can experiment with different large language models. And here you can choose from a variety of different foundation models available. These are the same ones that I showed you in the slides before. And you could click on one of these models and read the entire model card about it. And what else? So also you have here text generation parameters that you could play around with. seeing which response works best for you. And once you have that done, you can click here, View Code, expand it, and here you're presented with a API request that you could use in your AI application. And if a curl command doesn't work for you, you have a Python script to use. And one more interesting thing to show to you. So here, if you click on the top left corner, here you have this section, Resource Hub. Yeah, okay, sure, we can go here. And here you will be presented with some assets that you can play around with, some example data sets and example notebooks. Let's just filter out to see only notebooks. And here you're presented with some example notebooks where different machine learning models are used within Watsonx AI. And for demo purposes, let's run one of these notebooks. So this notebook uses one of the Watsonx AI large language models, Mixtral, to generate code. And what we can do, we could add this to our project, PyCon demo, click add, and then you just specify the name of your notebook, and here you're presented to choose one of the runtimes that you could use to run your notebook. So I will not add this notebook because it's already added in our project. So let's get back to it. Yeah, so let's run this notebook, or maybe I have somewhere opened it already. No. Okay, whatever. We can just open it right now. And it will take a couple of seconds to start up the runtime. And here you have the description of what this notebook is trying to do. Here we're installing some dependencies. And here the notebook asks to provide the necessary connection credentials to connect to Watsonx AI. So let's run this. It will ask me to provide an API key. API key where you could find it. So in IBM Cloud, usually where you could find your API key is when you go to your IBM Cloud account homepage. Here you have this manage drop-down, and here you see this access option. So if you click it, then you're presented with this view, and you can go here to API keys, and here you can generate your API key. Press create, type in test, click create, and here your API key is generated, and you can just copy it and use it. Now let's get back to our notebook. We just copied our API key. Let's paste it here. Run enter, and then we provide the project ID to which we associate from where to use our AI model service. So where we could fetch the project ID is in this prompt lab. If you click view code and expand it, here you're provided with the project ID that you could insert it. So we run this cell block, and with the next cell block, we just list out available large language models. And we specify to use this specific Mixtral model for our experiment. And next, we set our text generation parameters. And this next cell block, we initiate a connection to Watsonx AI service by providing the parameters, the text generation parameters, the connection credentials, and the project ID. And with this cell block, we just make sure that we have a connection to the Watsonx AI service by asking to provide model details. Next, we define a simple prompt. So the prompt goes like this: using the directions below, generate PyCon code for the given task. And here we provide an example input and an example output code. And we provide our custom question. Write a Python function which generates a sequence of prime numbers. The function primes will take argument n as integer. It will return a list which contains all primes less than n. So let's run that. And we basically, what we do with this next line of code, we concatenate the instruction with our question and send it to our Watsonx AI service. It will take a couple of seconds to get the response from the service. And when it does, here we extract the code from the response, we print it out, it looks legit. Then we use the Python function to actually execute that code. Now we have this primes method defined in the runtime, and we can use it to actually execute it and generate all prime numbers up until 25. And yeah, that would conclude the demo.
I think we got 4 minutes for questions. You're able to.
Yes. Question time.
Actually use this tool to do same Llama launching, for example? What is going?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, depending on where you want to use. I mean, if you're just experimenting, playing around for like as a hobby or doing some side projects, or doing some research, then it's not necessary to use this. It's easier just to use Llama and run these models on your consumer-grade devices. But let's say if you're trying to develop, working on developing AI systems for a client, then, well, you can go like you can try to use Llama to do that, but you will have like more effort put into it, like to figure out how to scale different AI workloads and so on. While all of that was already figured out while implementing this. And also, another key item is the AI governance part, which if you use Llama, it doesn't have that. You will have to think of something implemented of your own to ensure that. While using Watsonx AI, you will get Watsonx governance out of the box.
Who defines the ethical standards? You mentioned the governance says things like whether it tells whether one is secure or not, and so on and so forth. So do you allow a client to choose these thresholds? Because something that is ethical for me is not necessarily ethical for IBM Cloud. So would you ban then the usage of a particular model if I use it for some other purposes?
That's a good question. So actually, this Watsonx governance tool was built in like looking into the upcoming European Union AI Act, which will be slowly rolled out like in the next half of the year. So I would say that first, all the regulations and compliances within Watsonx governance will be defined based on that European Union AI Act, with the capability to provide your own custom regulations. But the baseline will be the European Union AI Act.
I wonder whether it's possible to access IBM's smart language models through some API. I'm not very fond of the user interface of Watsonx. It's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
I wonder whether I can access otherwhere.
Yeah. So there is a separate Watson machine learning SDK. It's called like that. And also, if you're familiar with LangChain, actually LangChain has out-of-the-box integration with Watsonx AI service. You just need to provide like the connection credentials, and it will work just as good.
Okay. We're going to have to wrap up there because we've got another talk in 5 minutes, but thank you very much, Robert.